everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. We're across the pond in England this week, and two teams are hoping to show off for an international audience. It's the Vikings going up against the Browns.
Thank you very much, Larry. EA Sports coverage of the NFL. The National Football League is here and on the air. This was the scene a few minutes ago. The dog pound in full roar as their Browns emerge from their tunnel. They're ready to go as they get set to match up with the Minnesota Vikings. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. Throwing is Bridgewater. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 7 yards the pickup on the pitch and catch. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch. Now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
That one goes for 36 yards. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That was a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. They go with Murray again, and he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
The 25-yard line is what they need here. This is 3rd down. Off the play fake, Bridgewater. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Caleb Brantley in there to bring him down, and it'll be a play to remember for that young man. The first sack of his NFL career. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up a lot, and he's into the clear. The 30. 10, and he'll score. Touchdown, Browns. We talk about it a lot. One of the dangers of the long field goal, you got to kind of hit it low and drive it. That makes it susceptible to a block here. Not only do they block it, they return it.
And how about how well they did on the return, where they didn't create a penalty? Oftentimes in that type of a scrambling situation, someone will clip, someone will block below the waist, right? You name it. In this case, though, that didn't happen. They formed it up, and he took it all the way back for a touchdown.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And the defense definitely showing blitz here. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
It's really simple to say that they know their identity, that they are a passing team. But one of the reasons that they're so successful, they know how to mix in the run and make sure that they keep the defense off balance and not able to just simply say, let's go get the quarterback and disrupt things.
Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. Counting down toward the midway point in quarter one. On first down, Murray. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. So here we go, a 3rd down after the 2nd down pass completion. They'll run the counter with Murray. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're not doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
So this time the protection holds up for him just fine, and he's able to bang it through.
I think their special teams coach got the point across. He gave him a pretty good earful after the block earlier. And this time, there's no penetration, so they're able to pick up 3.
Forbath now to kick it away after the made field goal. That's fielded in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. They go play action here on first down. Escaping the pressure right. They find some open field here. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. On the ground, this is Isaiah Crowell. And his first carry, he loses the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. Well, he's going to have to shake out the cobwebs first time he touches the football, and he drops it on the ground.
So many times we talk about quarterbacks and taking care of them early to get them in the flow with safe throws, right? But with a runner, there is no such thing as a safe run, right? Right out of the gate, you're going to be in some traffic. You got to take care of the ball, and he didn't do that.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Again, it's Murray. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down. They'll run here. It's Murray. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth.
They tried to run right into the teeth of the defense on third down, but looked like those teeth were pretty sharp.
They were having absolutely none of it. Stuffed him for a loss.
Yeah, couldn't get any leverage up front and move people aside in order to run the ball.
So a good kick that time, and that might help to get the negative thoughts out of the mind from that earlier block.
Especially since this was not a chippy, so he had to get that one out kind of low. But his line does a nice job of protecting, and he's able to convert for 3.
Forbath now to kick it away after the made field goal. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
That run right there was an offensive line coach's dream, wasn't it? Guys picked up all of their assignments, created a nice gap for the running back to get through, pick up 7 yards. Yeah, he's probably chortling on the headset right now saying, we got to go.
So 2nd down, 3 yards to go now. Again, it's Johnson. And not going to be able to push this forward. He runs into a wall right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
Let's go.
3rd and short yardage, Kaiser. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. Kaiser showing what he can do with his legs. It's more than just the arm. He scrambles and picks up the 1st.
When they watch film of this game and hand out the grade sheets, he's going to really like getting a double plus on this play. Why? He scrambles and picks up a 1st down. But what else does he do? Protects himself by sliding and avoiding the big hit. Double plus, big-time play.
And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards. They stay on the ground on 1st with Johnson. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. The last 2 plays, each lose a yard. They'll try to move forward here on 3rd and 12. From the shotgun, it's Kaiser. Hard throw, incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And good hustle here as this is going to be blown dead right at the 9-yard line. Reminder, a couple of good games still to come. Later tonight, it's the Steelers on the road in Detroit taking on the Lions. Then Monday night, the costumes will be in full force in Kansas City, I'm sure, as on the day before Halloween, we'll see the Chiefs play host to their AFC West rivals, the Broncos.
And wasn't it just a couple years ago, those two played a night game that was won by the Broncos on a fumble return with like 20 seconds to go?
Absolutely, that was a thriller. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. And on 2nd and 10 now. Bridgewater now. Going with a screen for Murray. And he's going to lose yardage here back at the 8. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. Now, that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there because trying is one thing. We can second-guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the 1st down on 3rd down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
Here's Ryan Quigley now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Returnable here from the 38. 12 yards on the return that time. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. First down carry here for Johnson. And he's brought down. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland 1st down.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the 2nd level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
They go to Johnson again, fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Let's go! 1-9! Ohio!
On 2nd down, Johnson. And a short gain down to about the 33. Just a couple on the ground there. That's going to bring up 3rd and about 6.
When the 4-3 defense is functioning really well, you know who stays what we call clean and no one gets to him? The guy playing the middle linebacker position, the guy we call Mike. That means the defensive front is eating up all the blocks and just let him go to the football and make a play.
On 3rd down, Kaiser. He finds Coates complete. And he's going to get the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 22. That's good for a Cleveland 1st down, an 11-yard pickup.
Let's go!
On the toss, here's Johnson. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
And when you get good yardage like that on 1st down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Crowell. And he loses the football a 2nd time. And this belongs to the Vikings. Vikings.
Partner, I know I'm supposed to really describe what happened there. I'm counting on you for this one. That was one weird play.
Well, what I was going to ask you, in these situations, shouldn't these guys just dive on the football around the goal line rather than try to make a heroic return?
That's what they're taught, but sometimes in the heat of battle, sometimes that heroic stuff comes to the front when you really don't need it.
This is taken at the 15. And now the Browns coming out on the field. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. Over the middle, complete. That's Gordon. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
Second down, Kaiser. And that one was nearly picked. Not sure he was accounting for the free safety. That brings up third down.
Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism, hands, a little bit questionable.
Here we go. One,
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Kaiser from the gun on third. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
There's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep two hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. The Browns send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line. Now come the Vikings. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
A first down throw for Bridgewater. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he'll get this back down to about the 12-yard line. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
Ground. This is Johnson. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action and hit them over the top.
Kaiser now on second down. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. Sammy Coates, the intended target there. And that'll make it third down. Kaiser. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock.
Brandon, some of those windows to throw the football that exist when you're between the 20s, they don't exist when you're this close to the goal line. But as a former DB, I liked it closer to the goal line. Tighter windows made it easier to cover people, actually.
So the drive takes them inside the 10, but it ends with just 3.
And a nice job defensively to rise up and make sure they didn't get in.
After the field goal, here's Gonzalez to kick it off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
They begin the drive with a run by Murray. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. So we have, well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show him one thing, hit him with something else.
And he'll get this one up to the 26. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9. And the defense searches for one more stop here after the run on second down.
Let's go!
To throw is Kaiser. Brought in by Coates. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12. Kaiser on first down. His throw incomplete.
My high school coach, John Ford, used to say all the time, if you're in a bad situation, laddie, don't compound it with a bad decision as well. And I think that's what we just saw there. Harassed in the pocket, and he throws into double coverage anyway.
He called you laddie?
He called me laddie, and that was the nicest thing he called me.
So the D-line's going to spread out.
Here we go!
Throwing again is Kaiser on 2nd and 10. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. A really nice gain of 25 yards. On 1st and 10, Kaiser. Flushed out right. Going long for Cook. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Sammy Coates, his first touchdown on the year. And the Browns add on to their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Now they'll bootleg it with Kaiser. And this is going to be caught. It's good. And that extends their lead by 2 more. Gonzalez now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down. Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. Here's Bridgewater. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
Well, the stats that matter on this play don't help a team very much unless, of course, you're playing defense.
If you're getting points per reception, you got a reception, but no yardage. Great job by the defense, though. They read through that one.
They read through it, gave up no yardage.
Through an opening, and there he goes. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. So they're going to go for 2. And before they can get the play off, here's a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball. That's their first of this second half. Kai Forbath on for the extra point. It's up and good, a 7-point margin. It's 20-13 now. Forbath out to kick this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Browns offense trotting back onto the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
2nd down following the run. They'll run it with Johnson. And he powers his way up past the 30. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a first.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. The Browns on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Working out of the gun. Here's Kaiser. And he's got his tight end, Njoku. A gain of 26 on the 3rd down conversion.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
Now Johnson. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position. And
he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. The Browns passing game finding its stride. They've got another first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
There's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Play fake. Kaiser. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. It'll be a gain of 15 on the play. And that'll bring up second down. Play action now. Kaiser. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Daniil Hunter able to get in there and take him down for a loss of 3. The Browns on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 7.
Here we go.
From the gun, Kaiser. Looking for the end zone. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
When teams take shots at the end zone, you've got to defend it the same way you would defend the first down sticks. You defend the goal line exactly the same way. They can't cross that. You play through the receivers. And on that play, that's exactly what they did and batted it away.
So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, but the net gain, 3 points.
And you're going to have drives like that in this league. Sometimes you just got to take the 3 and move on. Always better than nothing.
After the field goal, here's Gonzalez to kick it off. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Here's Murray now as they run it to start the drive. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Bridgewater now on 2nd down. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. It'll be a pickup of just 2. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Out of the gun, Bridgewater. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Maybe a little frustration starting to creep in. The offensive line hasn't done a great job of protecting him in this game, and there he was, hit again as he threw it.
Yeah, another time on his backside, probably starting to get a little frustrated.
Got to keep his composure. Can't let the defense know that they're getting to him.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. We'll call that a 47-yard punt, a return of just 3. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out and says, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
Johnson on the counter. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down, couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield, but that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
The Browns on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and 9.
Let's go! 38! 38!
Kaiser to throw it. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Everson Griffin in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. The Browns send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And it'll be Viking football here as they take possession. And now out comes Minnesota. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
so well. Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
They start the drive with Cook, and he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Defense in a good spot. Let's see how the offense responds with a 2nd and 13 now. They run it again with Cook. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. 8 yards on the run, and that cuts this down to a 3rd and about 5.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
The Vikings on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Throwing is Bridgewater. Lets it fly for Thielen. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Vikings are able to make this a close game again. Now Forbath for the extra point. And the lead is down to a field goal now. Forbath out to kick this one away. Now it's Duke Johnson here on the return. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's the one who has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Buying time to his left. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at third down.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But you know there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
Here we go. Let's go.
They'll throw here. Kaiser. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to fourth down. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because at least you're there, knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. The #1 overall pick, Myles Garrett, showing why he was the #1 pick as he gets him behind the line. On second down, Cook. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 13. He couldn't get the edge there. It wasn't sealed, so maybe not all on the guy running the football all the time on those tosses and the pitches that go to the outside.
No, not at all. I would agree with that totally because sometimes the defensive guys, they win the edge battle. And when they do that, there's no place for the running back to go, and especially for offensive linemen trying to get out ahead. With their footwork and speed is negligible on that play. No gain at all for the offense.
3rd and long for Bridgewater. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Right, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Here's Ryan Quigley now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. This is taken at the 10. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. And at this stage of the game, time a factor, time on their side as they just try to eke out the final precious moments of this one.
Here we go.
They begin the drive with Johnson. And there goes Duke Johnson. 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Duke Johnson, 76 yards. And the Browns add 6 to their lead. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
Gonzalez now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now out comes Minnesota. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
15 yards through the air and a first down. Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. Oh, he breaks a tackle, and he's got an alley. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. They go play action here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. The #1 overall pick, Myles Garrett. And it'll make this a 2nd and long. Here's Bridgewater. And he is out of bounds, just a yard or two shy of the 10. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Now Bridgewater. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Able to get there and pick it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And not great starting field position here for the offense. And they're throwing here. Kaiser. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
So incomplete on first. Let's see what 2nd down has in store. Kaiser to throw. And Kaiser can't escape this time. They get to him. And that'll be a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. They're down here in a one-score game. But the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late-game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
They have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. He'll look to throw. And incomplete. A drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
So the incomplete pass brings up 2nd down. They'll look to throw. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Let it well, and it's picked. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
Partner's bad enough when you just can't hold on to the football. But when your quarterback's throwing it to the other team, that's 3 interceptions now, 4 turnovers for the game. You really have no chance to win the football game.
And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Good gain there on first down. It keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. Johnson. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. The Browns on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. Here it's 3rd and 3.
Come on, let's go. Brand 38. Brand 38.
A lot of scoring. There's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So for the Browns, it's a nice win to finish off what's been an ugly first half as they move to 2-6. And now it's off to Heathrow as they get set to fly back to the U.S. in a couple hours. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, they fall 2 games under 500 now at 3-5. And they'll take this loss into the bye as they'll be back in action in Week 10.